I need to see a show of hands of everybody in the room who've ever had an economics course. Oh, good. So you'll all pass. A lot of the things that have been said are important that you know. So who can tell me who creates money? The government. Who here thinks the government creates money? All right. Who else might create money? Banks. Very good. You all passed that question. Wonderful. Now, the second question is, what is money? Who thinks money is a means of exchange? Who thinks it's a store of value? How about a unit of account? Okay, well, money does all those things, but that's not what money is. What is money? Who can tell me? Anybody? Power, that's a good answer. It's debt. We just learned that money that we use is debt. But fundamentally, what they don't tell you in your textbooks is that money is an agreement. It's an agreement to accept a standard mechanism as a unit of exchange. It lives in the same space as marriage contracts, business contracts. It's an agreement. It's a set of policies we've passed. And like most agreements, it can change. The day after they created marriage, they created divorce, right? So the agreements can change. But currently in our world, we have just one kind of agreement. And the agreement says something like the banks are the ones that are going to create the money, and they're also going to make a lot of money doing that in the process. The whole reason that we have debt ceiling crises is because of the bank debt money that we're using. But in fact, government isn't the only one that can enable wealth creation through money. We all can do that. How many people here have used a complementary currency? Raise your hands. All right. How many people here have used frequent flyer miles? All right, all of you should have raised your hands when I asked you if you'd used a complementary currency. Frequent flyer miles are a means of exchange that help encourage loyalty to a particular business, in this case, the airline that wants you to fill their seats on an ongoing basis. But there are many, many, many kinds of complementary currencies in the world. Loyalty currencies are very common. Every time you get a little card at your favorite coffee shop that you punch out to get free coffee, that's a loyalty currency that keeps you coming back to that coffee shop. What about creating a loyalty currency that would work in all your locally owned businesses? Sort of a frequent buyer miles plan, right? That would work. Now in Montpelier, I also serve as the Director of Planning and Community Development, and I've introduced 3 complementary currencies in the city since I've been there. One is a time bank, which is an anti-poverty currency where people use time as a means of exchange. Another is called a care bank, which is for elder care, and I'm working right now on deploying a new food currency. Now, the care bank received a $1 million federal grant to implement it, so there's nothing illegal or immoral about introducing complementary currencies. The care bank is a system of exchanging time so that elders in our community can receive good care without jeopardizing their government benefits, like Medicaid and Medicare and food stamps and housing subsidies. Because thankfully, the IRS considers time exchange to be tax exempt. So the value that you gain through the use of a time bank or a care bank doesn't change your income level, which is great. Here in Burlington, there's a couple different kinds of complementary currencies you could use. There's a time bank in the new North End, which is this time exchange. There's also a really great new program through VBSR, or Vermont Businesses for Social Responsibility, called the VBSR Marketplace, where businesses can use a commercial barter system to trade with each other without using bank debt money or indebted money that then they have to pay back over time. Businesses simply issue credits and debits between 2 businesses to make transactions possible. This type of commercial barter system has been in existence in Switzerland since the 1930s. Currently, 75% of their small and medium-sized enterprises are members of it, over 65,000 corporations. And they have done economic studies to show that it actually serves a counter-cyclical role in their economy, because when the economy goes south and they have a recession, the use of the VEER goes way up. Businesses keep people employed. The economy keeps moving along because they're exchanging goods with each other without going into debt to do it. Then when the economy goes up, the use of the VIR goes down, but nobody suffers because of that. The Swiss economy is a lot more stable, and it's been in place for 70 years. It controls billions of dollars in francs in transactions every year. In Japan, the Furai-Kippu system, which is quite a lot like the Care Bank we've introduced in Montpelier, has been in existence for over 15 years. And studies have shown that people that receive care through that system, it's an elder care system. Furai-Kippu actually is, in Japanese, means caring relationship tickets. So people who use these tickets to get their elders cared for, the elders always report that the care that they get through that system is higher quality than the care they get when they pay yen for it. And that's not hard to understand. And unfortunately, because of the function that our money system serves to only value things that are scarce, things that we need in abundance, like elder care, education, the arts, participation in government, aren't valued very high. And elder care suffers as a result because it's low-wage jobs, people are unreliable a lot of the time, and it can be low-quality care. Now, Bali, perhaps, has the oldest dual currency system in the world, a system called the Narayan Banjar, which is a lot like a time exchange system. And you're expected, as part of that society, to make a contribution through that Banjar system. In fact, there is a story about how the richest guy in Bali, the Bill Gates of Bali, was so rich he didn't participate in that system anymore. But because the Narayan Banjar system is how all their ceremonies are done, and their arts, and their singing, and their music festivals, when he died, nobody came to his funeral. Now, can you imagine Bill Gates dying here and nobody coming to his funeral? But that's how deeply embedded this time exchange dual currency system is in that country. Now, one thing about the monopoly that current bank debt money has on our system is that it serves as a monoculture. How many here have taken ecology courses? Now, we all know that monocultures are very fragile. And when they come crashing down, everything comes crashing down with it, which is why when our banking system fails, our economy fails. But studies have also shown now that having a diversity of currencies and having more than one kind of currency to use for our economy will make it more robust and more resilient. So I just recommend this book to you. I wrote it with Bernard Liotard, who is a former central banker from Belgium. He helped invent the euro, and he'll be back in the state later this month. I hope the book becomes the manifesto of the Occupy Wall Street movement, because what they're really calling for, with all of their protests, even though I don't think they know it, is monetary democracy. That's what we need, monetary democracy, because without it, our democracy is meaningless. Thank you.